Christopher Nolan took over as the director of the Batman film franchise, he promised to ground the characters in real world to show how these superheroes would actually work. While that promise may not have come true, his Batman trilogy did put a great cinematic spin on the world of The Dark Knight. The two Batman's biggest foes were the Joker, played magnificently by Heath Ledger, and Bane, played to a lesser degree by Tom Hardy. They both proved formidable foes for the Caped Crusader, but how would they stack up against each other? Each possesses unique skills that test different aspects of Batman. Ultimately, which one ends up the biggest threat against our hero? Well, luckily, we have a great way to find out. Let's take the clown prince of crime and stack him against the man who broke the bat. Here on Face Off.
Little fight you. I like that.
Disclaimer. No actual science was used to determine the outcome of Face Off. Your results may vary. Please do not consume Face Off if you are allergic to conjecture, opinion, or general nonsense.
Round 1. Physical power. Depending on which story you take as the true origin of the Joker, you will find that he started out as a simple crook. In the Nolan film, we never get a definitive origin for Ledger's Joker. He seems adept at moving among the Gotham criminal underground. Nothing seems to intimidate him, and he can handle a gun pretty well. When it comes to hand-to-hand combat, he does lose a little bit to just about every opponent. His special skill is the element of surprise. If he catches Batman in a vulnerable moment, he has no problem kicking him in the ribs with his blade-tipped shoe, or quickly using a mob thug to make a pencil disappear during a truly awe-inspiring magic trick. He won't be setting any weightlifting records, but he can get the job done in other ways. Speaking of getting the job done, if you like this video, why not subscribe to our JoBlo Originals channel? Tell your friends who may also like this sort of content. Bane, on the other hand, was built to become complete physical perfection. His intention of eventually facing the Guardian of Gotham led Bane to hone his body as the perfect weapon. When Bane and Batman face off for the first time, Bane is able to easily dispose of the Dark Knight. He finally puts him away by lifting the bat above his head and slamming him over his knee. This leaves Bruce with a severely injured back, and when they finally have their second showdown, Batman is able to fight back, but in the end is only able to win when he breaks Bane's breathing apparatus. If it was completely dependent on physical combat, Bane would have probably still come out on top. That's why, for this round, winner, Bane.
Quit dicking around with Kite Man and get those two!
But he was attacking me.
With what? A kite?
Round 2, psychological prowess. Joker is hard to nail down when it comes to his psychological makeup. His mind is obviously shattered, but he is able to formulate plans with many twists and turns. When he finally puts his plan in motion, it is to prove to Batman that humanity isn't worth saving. He gives the two boats away to destroy the other in hopes of saving themselves. His hope was to break Batman's motivation and spirit. While Bruce can always train his body to withstand the physical assault of his after-hours hobby, this could have possibly destroyed his psyche in a way that he may have never returned. This is exactly what Joker wants. The psychological torment was worth more to him than any amount of money. Bane mastered the use of his body and sharpened his mind to also be a match for Batman. His plan was not only to break Bruce's body, but also his mind. He took his physical ability from him and then left him in a hole to watch as he destroyed the very city that Batman had sworn to protect. Bane was able to cut the city off from the rest of the world while also tearing down the institutions that Batman had helped build. The Gotham Police Department was forced to go underground to survive. The citizens of Gotham feared for their lives as Bane's army patrolled the streets. Everything Batman had worked for was ruined. This was a devastating blow to Bruce, but not one he couldn't overcome. Joker's whole plan was psychological, which gives him the win. Winner, Joker. Round 3, ingenuity. When coming up with a plan to thwart the Caped Crusader, one thing you have to be is clever. At no point has Batman ever seen anything like what the Joker lays out. The amount of planning that went into the Joker's plan was enormous. From getting all the local mob bosses to pool their money together to knowing how to surgically implant a bomb in a random thug that would be picked up by the police. The plan had to work perfectly, and for the most part it did. The only thing Joker got wrong was the trust of humanity, although it could be argued that was something that the movie got wrong in this sense, and the twists and turns that Joker's plan takes shows how clever and inventive he can truly be. Bane had a solid plan when heading into Gotham. Eliminate Batman, close off all exits from the island to the mainland, trap most of the police force underground so that no one could stand in his way, rule the city with brute force. This is a great plan, but the problem is, it's not his. An earlier version of this plan was set up by Ra's al Ghul back in Batman Begins, and the newest version was thought up by his daughter Talia al Ghul to get revenge on Bruce for letting her father die. Bane was only an instrument in the war on Batman. Talia was the true creator on how Bane's plan would work, and because of that, winner, Joker. Round 4, hatred of Batman. In the comics, it has been stated that really all the Joker wants is to make Batman laugh. In the animated series, when Joker thinks Batman has died, he laments that his old foe is gone. In The Dark Knight, Joker wants to break Batman's spirit. Even with this, he never seems to have a true hatred for Batman. It more reinforces the question of if Batman actually helps Gotham's crime problem or adds to it. A man dressing up as a bat to fight mobsters is gonna cause the more severely deranged among them to make bigger and bigger gestures, such as dressing up as a clown and blowing up a hospital. Joker never seems to hate Batman, but is actually brought to life because of Batman. Bane, though, seems to truly hate Batman. He may be pushed into his goal by Talia, but his nature to become an unstoppable force put him on a direct path to destroy Batman. This drove him to a hatred for what Batman stood for and who he was. His takeover of Gotham was satisfying for him, so he could destroy everything Batman had built. Being the one to physically break Batman was truly his greatest moment. Winner, Bane.
Oh, there's no drugs in here. You have nothing to worry about.
Round 5, motivation. Joker really only wanted one thing when he entered the Gotham underworld: chaos. As Alfred put it,
Some men just want to watch the world burn.
while he only got to burn a giant pile of money for real, he did get to sow as much chaos as possible. He has the best explanation of what pushes him to do the things he does.
You know what I am? I'm a dog chasing cars. I wouldn't know what to do with one if I caught it.
His true motivation is no motivation, just to laugh in the wind as everything falls down around him. Bane, on the other hand, wants to break the Batman, but really, he's only a pawn in the grand scheme of destroying Gotham. Talia has the real motivation behind the destruction of both Batman and Gotham, while Bane takes orders from her. I guess his only real motivation is to make Talia happy, which seems like a lame motivation in comparison. Winner, Joker. He may be a mentally ill, psychotic clown, but among the rogues gallery of bat villains, he really is Batman's greatest foe. His mental instability reflects perfectly off Batman's logical and organized mind. This makes the two perfect to be each other's greatest enemies, and their rivalry will undoubtedly continue for decades to come. Winner, Joker.